everyone, and welcome to episode 79 of GameStack podcast, GameStonk. I am Shalene, and joining me today are the wonderful Vendertron.
Hello.
And the equally wonderful Rick McVick.
Hi, I'm more excited because the bot did it. It did the thing. It even put the title in there.
Yay!
Yay!
That's lovely.
I'm
Good
happy.
job, Rick.
It worked.
GG.
I'm so pleased. Maybe we should segue right into that. The bot. Let us speak of the bot, the Discord bot.
Yes.
Tell the story, Rick, of this labor of love.
So, it started out with my desire to learn Python, and I was like, I need something to do. Oh, I'll make a Discord bot, and in fact, I'll replace EchoBot. And then I asked Shalene, what are the commands that we most used on Echo? She's like, just cat pictures and GIFs?
Cats.
Just cats.
Dot cute.
And I was like, plus it's also utterly ridiculous that we have to make an announcement post every time we go live on Discord.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I make a bot that does cat GIFs and posts these announcements, that would be awesome, and do it in Python. So I built the first version of WJLG bot, which has cat pictures. It posts space GIFs. It posts cute dog or cat GIFs. It also counts how many people are in our server for you. It also tells you really horrible dad jokes.
Really bad. Some of them aren't even jokes. It's more of just a statement.
It's just so appropriate, though, because this podcast tells you horrible dad jokes.
It's
true. I would like to point out that now that the cat GIFs are back, normality has been restored.
Yes.
Indeed.
And on top of that, it will alert. It sends out a message to all of our listeners, and it says, "Hey, we're streaming live." And then also, if you join the server, it will welcome you with a personal, private message, as well as announce your presence to everyone on the server. So yeah, I was very happy to get this all working, and it's now hosted up in the cloud, and it's alive. And I'm working on another bot for another Discord server, actually.
So there is a feature that I'm almost certain Shalene is going to demand once I say it. We need a Mama Murphy.
Yes, immediately, as soon as possible.
A Mama Murphy command in which you type in, I don't know, Mama Murphy or something, and then it gives you your horoscope or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
In my Discord, I had this horoscope channel called Mama Murphy, and it was a horoscope bot, and then the bot died and nobody ever fixed it. So then I just deleted the channel and everyone was devastated.
Oh yes, that was a harsh blow, Vendor. So 4 Mile and I would always go check our horoscopes every morning in this Discord, right? The bot died. So we were kind of taking turns looking up our horoscopes and posting them for each other. And then the whole channel disappeared. We were like, Fender! It's gone!
And I was like, well, I guess this isn't working anymore. No, I guess we don't need this channel. Delete.
Yeah,
not even thinking that there was
we were still using it.
One track mind.
That's okay.
Anyways,
if you have any suggestions or I think reports, just put it in the suggestion folder in our Discord server there. So
it would be cool to have like a Mama Murphy channel, and each day it just posts all of the horoscopes.
Yeah,
just everyone.
That would be fun.
Each day, just one post, because then people don't even have to put in a command or anything.
Yeah,
I would like
although that might be part of the fun.
We need to have commands in there anyway, so that you can put in like .jet, and then like one day out of 20, Mama Murphy dies.
Do you think I just have unlimited time to do this?
Yeah,
I mean, what do you have to do? That's
hello.
Better than this?
We're in a pandemic.
That's true, and I do learn more about coding, but yeah. So
you'll be a whiz by then.
Yeah, but I'm just happy it's up and it's running. It's awesome.
It is. And
so
you made
excited
this
that it's
from nothing,
functional.
and that's really cool.
Yeah, great job, by the way.
Yeah.
Pat on the back for you, Rick.
Thank you.
Yes, we're very proud.
So yeah.
Yeah, so there are no new people in the Discord, so
what?
We don't know if the new bot's functionality of welcoming someone to the Discord actually works.
Actually,
it's like, hi there, I'm the new bot. Oh God! And then they leave.
Doing a thing.
It does work. It does work.
I'm doing a thing. Okay?
Fine.
So,
Fine.
if you want to help us test this new bot's functionality, how can the people join our Discord, vendor?
Well, you could join the Discord if you're listening live right now just by scrolling down below and clicking on the Discord link. You can also find the link, I believe, posted on our social media. But if you would like, you can also just send us a message, and we'll provide you with the link. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
I don't
of
know what's
course-
going on, but we've lost 10 members since the middle of January.
I'm shocked.
So
'Cause they suck.
I'm
they're
not sure what
probably
happened. I think
tired
that
of
might
the-
be my fault.
The cat spam.
Oh, it could be. Yes.
Yeah, because we've been posting a lot of cats. But anyways, if you are watching live, thank you for joining us. Go ahead and host us on Twitch. Go ahead and click that host button. I don't know if there's even a host button. I think there is on mobile nowadays. And if you're not watching live, please share the show with your friends. Post it on your social media. Just tell the world how wonderful this lovely show is.
Can we just back up a second here?
Why, certainly.
I just want to point out that the top user for messages in the Discord right now, the person that has slipped into the top spot, is Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because I was doing like
That's a first. I mean, I know it was like work related, but that's a first. I mean, it's always usually Shalene or myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to focus a little more on work lately. Spend a little less time, except for today. Today I was in Discord a lot.
Today was a trash fire.
There were literal fires at my workplace. Like, whew. Yeah, it was a day, man. It was a day. Like, whew.
Okay, anyways, resume.
Yes, today we are not just going to talk about our own silly lives. We are also going to talk about the silly lives of video games. In some news, we've got a podcast coming up. News.
Nice.
We're going to talk about our gameplay. We are going to talk about GameStonk. Boy, do we have some GameStonks to talk about. And I would just like everyone out there to remember, we were podcasting about video game stocks before it was cool.
It's true. It's true. It was our idea.
Mm-hmm. We did it first.
Most of the great ideas that you see in the universe are born here. But before we proceed, I think that we should also probably shout out Joshy Neurotic's new initiative that he's doing in the Do you want to share that, Shalene?
Yes. So Joshy Neurotic approached us a couple of days ago with a new project that he wanted to share with the community. So he's been wanting to watch through all of the MCU Marvel movies in chronological order. And he thought, you know what? It might be fun to share this with the community. Let's stream it on Discord. So on Mondays at noon, which time was it? Noon Central? Was it? What
he's on Pacific, I think.
On Pacific? Noon. Let me just scroll down and double check this so I don't give you lies.
Tell me lies.
Noon
tell
Pacific.
Me sweet little lies.
At noon Pacific on Mondays,
Wow,
Joshy will be sharing a Marvel movie. The link there is in the Discord as well to the list. So,
and that starts on February 1st. I would just like to point out he has a whole schedule that runs through to July.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So,
whew.
I definitely recommend that you join Joshy for this epic journey through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I wish I could, but I'll be at work. Maybe I'll just do it anyway. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's definitely very, very cool. Anything else, you guys, before we get going?
I think that's it.
All right, we are going to do some news. As always, shout out to Joseph Tao. This just in. I guess, Rick, it's your turn. It's been a while since I've done this. So Rick, why don't you talk about the new releases for February?
Okay. So, for February, February, I forgot that was the thing. All right, these have not come out yet, and Lord willing, I get to show up on the podcast version in time. We'll actually get ahead of the ball rather than being 3 steps behind it. So, the games that you can look forward to this February: hunkering down from the cold weather unless you're in a warm spot, then screw you. Werewolf: The Apocalypse, Earthblood. PC, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Series XS. We're already starting off with a good long title. That makes no sense. Blue Fire is on PC, Switch on February 4th as well, and Nuts is on PC and the Switch.
On
Coming
nuts.
What?
On nuts.
Oh, nuts.
Oh, nuts. And then on February 5th, we have Neo 2, the Complete Edition, coming out for PC, as well as the Neo Collection coming out for PlayStation 5 as well. On February the 11th, you can get February the 11th. You get Little Nightmares 2, PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. On February the 12th, you get Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury for the Switch. Rustler, Steam Early Access on February 18th, and that's for the PC. Persona 5 Strikers, PC, PlayStation 4, and Switch is on February 23rd. Curse of the Dead Gods, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Switch on February 23rd as well. Ghosts Goblins Resurrection on the Switch, February 25th. And Bravely Default 2 Switch on the Switch on February 26th. The free games that you're going to get for the, what is this? This is for PlayStation, it looks like. Is that right? Yes.
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, I was just trying to find it in here. Destruction All-Stars, and then Control: Ultimate Edition and Concrete Genie are the PlayStation Plus games for February. Destruction All-Stars is from February 2nd to April 5th, and Control: Ultimate Edition and Concrete Genie is from February 2nd to March 1st.
Concrete
Control
Genie
is still pretty new. I'm surprised that that's a free one.
Maybe it's not
Concrete Genie sounds like a great band name. Just throwing that out there. And tonight we have Concrete Genie. Okay, continue.
If you've got an Xbox, don't worry. There are plenty of free games, and they look really good, actually. Gears 5 is available from February 1st to the 28th. I guess that's the end of February, isn't it? Resident Evil is available from the 1st to the 28th as well. Dandara: Trials of Fear edition, February 16th through March 15th. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, February 1st through the 15th. And Lost Planet 2, February 16th and 28th. Lost Planet was one of those games that was super fun for the original 360, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting. I love mechs. I love mechs.
I got killed a lot in Lost Planet multiplayer. Was that in Lost Planet 2 that had the multiplayer?
I think 2 had
Yeah. I played a bunch of the multiplayer of a Lost Planet game on 360, and I got wrecked every time.
Might have been the first one. I don't remember. I just like mechs. They're cool. Let's see here. February.
Continue. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna ask you. You know that there's a mech in Ark, right?
What?
Yeah, it's massive, like huge.
It's a mech in Ark. Is it a mod?
No, that's part of the base game.
It's part of the game.
It's part of the tech.
Oh, I didn't know that. I like mechs. I loved Mech Warrior when I was a child.
Just so you know, there's a mech in Ark, and it's
Okay.
pretty stellar. It has like rocket boots and stuff.
Bum 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 bum. Sorry, I just watched Nacho Libre and like that.
Nacho.
It was so good. It was so good.
Free Prime gaming titles. The lineup is announced. Monster Prom. Got to get that right because I'm not seeing that word. Hot Seat Edition. Oh my goodness, it would have worked. Monster Porn: Hot Seat Edition.
I feel like Monster Prom is the kind of game that I need to stream. I don't know what this game is, but I feel like this is something that would be fun.
Sounds super cute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, will you go to the dance with me?
I want to go to prom with the monster. It'll be like old times.
We'll save that story for another day.
I've never gone to prom, so.
You never went to a prom?
No, I went to one dance. It was homecoming, and I left early because it was boring.
Prom was a time. Yeah.
I loved prom.
I remember it.
Mostly because of the dressing up. I
I
really
had
liked
I had a
having
3-piece suit with a teal blue tie.
Oh, fabulous!
It was so tacky.
Yeah, I would
but-
do basically like costumes for the prom. Like I would go all out, man.
She shows up like a vampire. They're like,
Prom
"Not
is
that
so
kinda-"
interesting. Now I don't even show up to my degree ceremony. I'm like, it'll come in the mail. It's fine.
Oh, Monster Prom is visual novel style and can be multiplayer, says Joseph Tao.
Ew.
That's definitely something that I think I need
Raptor-
to play. That sounds like
Rap-
good times.
Raptor said prom was the last time I wore a dress.
I went in a like a tuxedo jacket and leggings one year, which was really fun. Just to be silly. It was
If
good
I
times.
if I have a chance to go back and do prom over again, I would get a really nice upper tux and then just wear like short shorts.
Oh, nice.
I've always wanted an upper tux, but it's too expensive.
That just
One day
sounds-
I'll get it done.
That just sounds like a. What services do you want? You want an upper tux? Huh? Yeah? You want an upper tux?
Mhm.
Anyway, spinach. Moving on for Prime Games, free titles.
Spinach,
Spinach. Oh,
What's
it's
a
not
spinch?
spinach.
not spinach. Spinach.
I thought that spinach was.
Is
thought it
that
was,
a
like,
word
spelled
that
wrong.
we're allowed to say on the
That
podcast?
just sounds really bad. I think you should add that to the list of words that we should not allow in the Discord.
that,
Hey,
that feels
spinch.
dirty.
it does.
It feels.
It really.
Stop
I
saying
like it though. No, I'm gonna use it from now on instead of saying actual bad words. It'll be like what's that movie?
Like that
Bargain
time.
Isol's movie.
Like that time we named that sheep an Ark Smadge.
Yeah. You're like it just feels off to say it.
It's just bad. It's just bad.
So yes, you can get Spinch and for free. You can also get Stealth Bastard Deluxe.
I find
And-
this funny because one of last month's Prime games was Void Bastards. And now so we had Void Bastards and now we have a Stealth Bastard.
There's a lot of fatherless games out there.
Mhm.
It's really spiraling out of control.
Yes, it is. So is this segment. Swim Sanity is the next one, and then Table Manners, and I am out.
Table manners.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Table
The
Manners.
fork goes on the right.
I'm pretty sure that it's like kind of in the vein of Surgeon Simulator, where you
So you have to like
don't
set a
have
table.
very refined controls, but you're on a date. So you're
Oh,
like knocking the
sounds
wine over
brilliant.
at your date
This would
and
be
stuff,
brilliant.
and like
I bet you
just
this would be
being
really good in
clumsy.
VR. Probably.
I would hope that it would be like it would turn savagely dark. Like if you put the fork on the wrong side, they're like, no, and they rip your head back and stab you in the eye with the fork.
oh my,
Okay, next.
my, you're in a mood today.
Yeah. No,
Whew.
what? No, I'm always like this. You remember last week? I have that sound clipped, by the way.
Oh, that was amazing.
Oh,
that was.
I forgot to
amazing.
clip
I
that.
thought I was gonna drive tonight,
Um,
so I was gonna like play it at the beginning of the show.
That was something, man. That was the thing. Anybody who
Anywho.
wants to know what we're talking about, listen to that Fallout show from last week because
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
it was a
thing.
thing. It was a whole thing.
It was actually part 2 of last week's Fallout show.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I had, to
I
stitch
had
that
forgotten what a disaster that episode was. I need to
So
stitch the
bad.
video together for the YouTube.
together. So bad.
Yeah.
I tried
really
to play
bad.
our podcast on Spotify the other day and it wouldn't play.
Hmm?
Yeah.
That is a great discussion to have on air.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you, and now I'm remembering.
Now
and I have to
it's
tell
like
you
you
now.
also forgot that we're in the middle of a live podcast.
They don't care.
Doing the
We're
news.
professionals. Okay, let's
true.
do
They don't
some news, you
care.
guys.
That's why they listen to the show.
Are we not gonna cover?
Oh, it's working. Never mind, it's working. Yeah.
Are we not gonna cover the Frontier mod fiasco?
I
know
was going to cover that on this whole podcast that we have about this game series called Fallout.
I realize that, but it's always
She's
old
so
news.
mad.
It's old news by the. It's fine.
Well, I mean, we do have an entire podcast about the Fallout series. It makes sense to save it for then.
Okay, we'll
but if
cover
you
a
want
week
to
old
talk
news
about,
a week
if
later.
you want to
No,
talk about
no.
it now, go ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Rick. I won't
Nope,
stop you.
nope.
I won't stop you.
Stop it. Stop it. They're fighting again.
The nurse over there. I hate it when mommy and daddy fight.
This is why they put me in the car all the time.
Go stay with your aunt.
Yeah.
Okay, so news. I don't remember what we're talking. Rick, what does that look? What does that look?
Smug face.
It's the smug face. Okay, so the Fallout the Frontier mod was an utter
Oh,
disaster.
I didn't mean we had to actually get into. You know what?
It was a disaster.
It was a
And
disaster. It does not. It's
apparently,
not
there's a
around anymore.
Deathclaw sex scene in there, which was unexpected.
There is sex slavery.
Yeah.
But-
Wait a minute.
That's been in other Fallout games, but this was you could actually like do it to somebody. You could like force them to put on a collar. There was foot jobs, apparently a Deathclaw sex scene, and it's now gone. The mod doesn't exist anymore. So
There's also a race of horny snake people.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
but
unusual. It's not what I expected, but the reason that it's all gone down the hill is because one of the artists who did icons, the hype train. I'm sorry, I can't control the hype train. So
that's the mod train leaving the station.
So there was one of the artists who did icons for the Fallout the Frontier project. Also published some pedophile content on his DeviantArt. So of course they wanted to expunge everything that he did from the Fallout the Frontier mod, and a lot of other content creators and voice actors and people who were involved with the project decided to pull out of the mod just to distance themselves from this situation. So it's a lot of things are getting cut from Fallout the Frontier, and it's basically dead in the water.
Wow.
And like, and I was thinking about this, you know, because some people were saying like, well, sex slavery existed in the Fallout universe before, but it was always like mentioned, or you're talking to an NPC who was like, I was one and now I'm free, or you have a chance to free them. This was like actively like telling someone, you're going to be mine, put this collar on. And they literally went, okay, and put it on. So it was like you missed the mark there.
I haven't played it. I hadn't installed it, and I guess it's too late now.
Yeah, it's over.
But I did watch some videos, courtesy of Sora in the Discord, of in particular the snake people section, which is being called the lizard people section, and they're definitely snake people. Like that's a misnomer. They are most decidedly snake people. And I didn't think it was incredibly objectionable. I did think it was pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But it's, that mods are mods.
And that's isn't that the funny thing though, is like when there's something controversial, if it's written well, we're more willing to accept it than something that's written blatantly poor. And we're just like,
Not true. Not true. In Canada, we just nixed that right in the bud.
But but you've enjoyed Fallout New Vegas, and there was very controversial stuff in Fallout New Vegas, but it was written very well. And it was written appropriately.
I don't know. I mean, Fallout New Vegas was it was R-rated, wasn't it?
It was definitely mature.
It was mature. So, if that label's on there, anything goes.
I also watched a clip of the Deathclaw situation, and it's it's just some silly dialogue and like fade to black. So
but
it's not like
that's like
scandalous.
When you met Fisto for the first time.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
pretty similar to Fisto, because like it just like you're in with the Deathclaw, and like it's the Deathclaw, and you make a choice, and then fade to black.
I feel like the sound effect from the Fisto would be spork. If it was in a comic strip. Oh, the other thing that was really bad about the slave part was that there was references to her being under 18, and they did change that to she was like 21. So yeah, there was also that specific reference.
Yeah, I mean, there's adult content, and then there's politically correct adult content.
Right. No.
And I think
the
that
line a little bit.
Yeah, I think a lot of games have crossed the line recently.
My
Cyberpunk
feeling
being one of them.
personally is really that all they needed to do was just expunge the work made by this person who was creating pedophile artwork, and then move on. I don't feel like they needed to destroy the mod on account of this.
But how did they not? Did they not vet him when they hired him? Did they not look at his portfolio and say,
Well,
this
he
is
posted
weird.
it after the mod was up, so it wasn't there before. The other thing is I think from a tweet that I saw from the main dev, they were gonna fix it. They were gonna change all the stuff that they put in it, and apparently he just kept getting inundated with emails and stuff like that. That he just eventually grew tired of the whole thing and said, "I'm out."
Yeah,
because it was just too problematic.
Yeah, it was really wearing on its nerves. That poor
Yeah,
guy.
so.
But
well,
And we
anyways,
forget that it's not a real dev team; it's a mod team. So like they probably don't play test the thing as well as.
the thing is, they've got all the same challenges as a professional dev team.
True.
But what they don't have is the discipline of a workplace. What they
Yes.
don't have is payment. They're volunteering their time.
Right.
There's
not that person going, don't put that in there.
so there is a possibility that this individual who created this content could have done it on purpose to try to get it in there without anyone noticing.
Well, it was not in the mod, the pedophilic content. It was on his DeviantArt page. So it was a separate thing that he did. But of course, it's abhorrent, and they did not want any involvement with this person. So.
And again, like it was that combined with the sketchiness of some of the content in the mod that was like people were dealing with, but it was still like, it's weird.
Yeah, I can't say much about the sex slavery situation. I haven't watched any clips of that. I don't know what that's like, but the Deathclaw thing and the snake people thing, they're just silly. Like it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
It's really
I think
not.
it was everything compounded on top of everything else.
And it's also a thing like where you make the choice. Like just like with Fisto, you did not have to test Fisto out. You probably did. You know you did. You degenerates.
You got attacked by 5 old grannies.
Yes. But you didn't have to test Fisto out. It was a choice. And in that same way, your special time with the Deathclaw and the snake people.
Anyways,
those are also voluntary.
There's a dead horse around here that I'm going to start beating in a minute. That's
special time with the Deathclaw.
Yes. I mean, I'm sorry.
Anyway.
This is like your Sunday school teacher trying to talk about like Deathclaw sex is what's going on here. Like
Oh man, I had to work around a few things in conversations with Evie around, with her around once, and it was not. It's tough. I made it, but it's tough. Anyway.
So you know what else is tough? Getting a PS5 or a new video card. It's just it's nigh impossible. And AMD, according to this article by Video Games 24/7 by Dom Pepiat.
Don Perignon.
I hate pronouncing names. It's so difficult.
Dom P
of Video Games 24/7. AMD has predicted that the shortage of hardware for the new generation of technology is going to last for likely the year. So they think the first half of 2021 will still exhibit a lot of shortages. So they have been receiving a lot of revenue, but there has been increased demand for this technology, and with the difficulties of COVID, there is likely to continue to be a shortage for these PC parts and parts for consoles for at least half of a year. So that's something to be prepared for. Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I've got a 3070 sitting in my PC right now.
So jealous. Actually, I'm not that jealous. I'm pretty happy with my 2070. It's still quite lovely.
I love how like the only reason I got it was just to play Cyberpunk.
I think my graphics card has actually started sprouting spuds.
Oh, spuds!
Mackenzie?
Graphics card.
Because it's a potato.
Yeah.
Get it?
And what do you have in there?
1070.
1070? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's time to
remember
upgrade,
when
man.
you got it, we were all like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, state of the
Wow.
art. And I was like, look at
Yes.
these blades of grass. It's incredible. Now I'm like, I can't even run Zoom.
Yeah, I remember when you built that machine, we were all like, whoa.
Yeah, I know. I was all jealous. I'm like, oh man, he could have better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it happens though, right?
Yes.
is.
But you
I
know,
was
it's
gonna-
only
I-
a matter of time until you're back up there and
Well, I
we're
would
like,
be
oh, all I have is a 2070.
I would be back up there. Instead, I bought an espresso machine instead.
Hey,
I don't think that was a
decisions.
bad trade though.
Decisions,
No,
man.
definitely worth it. Yeah.
I
Don't
feel
think
like
that
it's
was
a
a bad
good
trade.
choice. Good choice.
Every day with
Yes.
my nasty drip pot, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm actually drinking some coffee the internet mom sent me, which is lovely. It's
What'd she send
something
you?
called pea berry coffee, which is like I guess. Shut up, Rick.
I wouldn't drink it.
I'm gonna have internet mom come and smack you. Okay.
She would too.
She would. She will haul you out of that room by your ear and smack you.
What?
It's lovely. Apparently it's something to do with how the coffee beans usually they're like in pairs, but sometimes there's a singlet coffee bean, and those are what the pea berry coffee is. But it's very tasty, and I am very energetic because I don't usually drink coffee this late.
Sounds like you're in a world of flavor.
I hate you.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
While sipping your pea berry coffee, you could listen to some Aretha Franklin.
Hey, I'll nod to that. I'll
Darn
nod
it,
to
Rick.
that.
Darn it!
I'm nodding.
I did not ask for your 2 cents. Just like we did not ask for 10 cent to buy a minority stake in Don't Nod.
Oh, don't nod.
Yes. So Don't Nod is a French studio that we here at We Just Love Games are very familiar with as the creators of the Life is Strange series, among other games.
Oh, 10 cent invested in them?
Tencent is investing in everybody, and it's kind of freaking me out. They have they've bought a minority stake. The statement from Don't Nod CEO and Chairman Oscar Gilbert says, "We are delighted to welcome Tencent as a Don't Nod investor. This is a real expression of trust from a key online game leader, which is behind a number of success stories and has invested in several leading companies in the video game industry. Through this partnership, Don't Nod is perfectly positioned to take advantage of the various growth drivers in the video game industry, in particular in China and on mobile platforms, in cooperation with an industry leader." They also recently purchased a majority stake in Clay Entertainment, the creators of Don't Starve. And I find this a little concerning that Tencent is just taking over so much. It's a bit, it's a lot. I
Narratives are
mean,
gonna change.
Tencent is the Walmart of video games.
But it's not
In terms of
just-
size, I mean, not
Well,
quality, of course.
right, but it's not even that. Well, like Walmart's a high bar, but it's not that. It's the narrative constriction that these companies will have. They put in one wrong thing about that may be perceived as anti-China, they'll schwack it real quick. And that's where I start to draw a line, is when you start controlling stories based off of a political narrative. And I think we've seen Tencent do this before.
we have.
Well, I mean, we're seeing this on a global scale with every sort of
It's
industry, right now.
It's China in general
And
that controls
there's-
the narrative of everything sometimes. And it's like with Tencent putting their fingers in every single pie, if Don't Nod puts out another game that you guys want to play, but then like they don't like something of it, it could be pulled down from. They could say, "Oh, we're not going to host it in China," and then all of a sudden, Don't Nod is going to lose out on millions of dollars of revenue unless
Yeah.
they change something stupid.
It's very concerning that Tencent is getting so much control in the video game industry. I feel like there aren't any companies left anymore that Tencent doesn't have a big investment in, and
Or any money in,
I'm
really.
pretty concerned.
Well, you guys heard about the rumor that they're starting to raise money to purchase EA.
Really? I had
I've
not
heard about
heard
that,
this
yeah.
rumor.
Yeah, so there's news reports that are saying that Tencent is eyeing $1 billion acquisition to acquire EA games.
Wow.
Would it really be that bad though?
Well, I
Like
don't.
those games,
It's the only way is up for EA. I mean,
they're homogenized.
I do
like
disagree. I think it could definitely get worse.
I don't know, man. They put out a World War II game where they're like, we can't have any swastikas in the World War II game. So I mean, like it's homogenized to the nth degree anyway. So I can't imagine it being any
yeah,
different.
Joseph
problem-
says they want to buy EA or Take-Two. Take-Two,
Yeah.
of course, is the parent
I mean,
company of Rockstar. And Rockstar, imagine a Rockstar game that couldn't do satire. Like,
No, yeah, that'd be bad, man.
well, I
It's-
mean, I don't know.
it's horrible to think
I
about.
don't know.
Horrible
Yep.
to think about. I feel like we're getting pretty close to a monopoly type situation. Like, I feel like pretty soon we're going to hear some antitrust discussions. But we'll see. We will see.
Well, I
Yep.
mean, that goes back to what I was saying, as how this is becoming a global issue in all industries.
Mhm.
And politics particularly is shedding the light on this with respect to donors from companies and corporations.
Okay, man.
and
Corporations are people.
how that's a huge issue, right? So I think that it's the problem is getting so big that eventually something's gonna happen.
Bubble gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean,
This fills me with so much anxiety, you guys. I just want to like sit down and watch some Netflix because I'm
is it
so
the
stressed out.
anxiety, or is it just the extra coffee that you're
The answer is yes.
Segway vendor.
And I would really like to just watch some Netflix. And when I'm done with Netflix, like so many people have finished Netflix over quarantine, I can look forward to a new project coming up from Netflix and Legendary, a Tomb Raider animated series. This is a gamesindustry.biz article written by Marie Delisandri.
Did you just say many people have finished Netflix?
Yeah, it's like
over quarantine?
it's like the joke. Like, yeah, I
okay.
finished Netflix. You know, like, yeah, I finished my show or whatever. No,
This is why the
it's-
bot jokes are so
yeah,
bad.
That's the whole joke because
Look,
2020
man.
and we've all been at home.
This is why.
I didn't write those jokes. They're from Ken I Has Dad jokes. All right, it's not. That's the API I pulled them from.
Okay,
Cannot
continue,
blame me.
continue.
Netflix and production company Legendary are working on a Tomb Raider animated series.
Cool.
And this is to focus on Lara Croft's adventures after the Tomb Raider reboot trilogy. So this is after the newest trilogy of Lara Croft games. And the series will
So
be written
confused.
by Tasha Huo,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
who is also the writer of Netflix's Witcher prequel Blood Origin. And also executive producing the show will be Jacob Robinson, who is the president of animation-focused company Tractor Pants. Other executive producers are Dimitri Johnson, Stephen Bugaj, and Howard Bliss, all three from the production company who did the Sonic the Hedgehog film. So,
Interesting.
Are there 3 more Tomb Raider games coming out now?
Tomb Raider is
not
so
to my
overdone.
knowledge.
Oh, I thought you
Those
said that there was a trilogy or something.
Well, it's the trilogy that came out.
Oh, I
already.
see what you're saying. I see what
Yeah,
you're saying. Okay.
and they were pretty good. They were great games.
I got lost on which
Yeah.
one was actually the origin, and yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, origin stories tend to be overdone. I really
I played
liked
one of
the
the Tomb Raiders.
first one in this new trilogy. It was really, really good. I did think it was hilarious because of the way they made her transition from being like just a girl, just a young college student, into the Tomb Raider. Because she went from one scene like she has to kill a deer to eat it, right? And she's like sobbing, just like it's awful. But then within 10 minutes, you're just murdering legions of human beings. Just
I honestly think a majority of humans would have an easier time killing another human than would an
Than a
animal.
deer.
I really think that's.
Mhm.
It's
I
like when you
mean-
get into an accident and there's a dog in the car and someone's like, "Is the dog okay?" And you're like, "Well, that person's bleeding out
Well,
on the ground.
the
But
baby
dog's fine."
died, but is the dog okay?
Now, is the first Tomb Raider the one you're talking about? Is that the one with the shipwreck?
Yes.
Yeah, I played that one fully through, and I really
It
did
was
enjoy that.
great, wasn't it? It was really
Yeah.
good.
Really good.
I heard the third one was not as good. I haven't played it. I played some of the second one, but got sidetracked. Yeah.
You
Shame
get
on you.
sidetracked?
I
Oh.
know. I'm
I
known for
shan't
finishing
believe it.
games. I'm
Yes, you
really
are.
known for sticking to something until it's through. So
Yeah.
that's the reputation that I have.
Amazing you here when the show's ending. You just peace out halfway through.
Yes. Let's speaking of things that are an absolute roller coaster, let's talk about GameStock. Tell us about the stock market, vendor.
Oh God, you guys. Well, I mean, you guys have all been following what's happening, right? I will cover that in a few moments, but first, let's get down to brass tacks and talk about some of these video game stocks that closed today. These prices are listed as of 2:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time today. This is the first time that we've reported on the GameStock segment since it
3
would have
weeks
been
ago?
it would have been last year.
Ooh.
It's been a long
Um,
time.
Because as you recall, our last episode of GameStack was the Stack Awards
And prior to
True.
that, we missed at least one episode of GameStack.
because of the holidays. Anyway, so Sony closed at $95.71, down $3. Microsoft up $13.37, closing at $231.96. Nintendo down $8.64, closing at $72.20. Take-Two sitting at $245, down $2.94. Activision up 63 cents, closing at $91. Ubisoft a cool 20, up 55 cents. EA at 142.25, down 36 cents. And 10-cent. Did I say Take-Two? Or did I say 10-cent?
Take-Two exists. That was earlier in the
Take-Two
list.
closed at 200. 10-cent closed at 88.98, up $13.67. Now, the hype this week. So basically what has happened is that I mean, you guys know GameStop, right? We all love
Yeah.
GameStop. It's a dying company, but we
Are-
love it.
Are we getting
And-
into the GameStop thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we need a theme song to get into this news story.
well, that's great, but we don't have one, so I'm just going to keep going.
I have it queued.
Um
Fine, go ahead.
Okay,
are
go-
you
go
gonna
ahead.
Go ahead.
Just go.
No, it's fine.
I'm interested in the logistics here. Because you're not driving.
I was just gonna play it on my phone.
Oh, okay, do it. I can't hear it.
Anarchy in the UK.
Appropriate.
right.
Sorry, it was
All right.
ruined
right.
it with the.
So
It was a bad joke.
So basically what has happened this week is that a few people made quite a bit of money buying GameStop's stock this week after encouraging friends on Reddit to buy it as well. The stock itself has rocketed higher than anybody ever could have expected, and it's all because of activity between social media investors who began pushing it up. Wall Street actually had bet very heavily that the price would fall, leading the stock to swing wildly. However, Jamie Rogozinski, the apparent founder of the Reddit community at the heart of all of this, told Wall Street that it's like a train wreck happening in real time. On Thursday alone, GameStop's stock hit an all-time high of $492.02 per share.
That's wild. That is wild.
Before dropping by more than half
Uh,
a single minute later. And on Friday afternoon, it jumped to $324. Now, the company itself hasn't fundamentally really changed all that much in the last little while, but its stock has changed. I mean, these gains are, I mean, from what I've read, some people have had gains of up to 3,200% in capital gains, which is like astronomical. Um, and of course, this led Wall Street investors to start freaking out because they bet against the company's future to lose billions, and that actually drove the hype even further. So, over the last week, the financial world has been watching in shock as GameStop has been rising above everybody's expectations. Elon Musk tweeted about it, pointing his 43 million followers to a link in the Reddit community investing in GameStop called Wall Street Bets, which I follow and I missed because I was so focused on my work. You guys, I could be a millionaire right now.
Yeah, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I follow Wall Street Bets. I almost look at it religiously every day. And for whatever reason this week, I was like, no, social media, I have to get this work done. It's really important.
Oh, it was like 2 days into this saga. We're like, dude, GameStop stock. And you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
I had no idea.
Yes, I mean, you're always so in tune
I
with
know.
the stock market. And I remember saying, like, yeah, I can't wait to talk about this with you. And you're like, what's going on?
I've been so consumed in my research for my PhD that I just haven't had any time to focus on financial matters. But the reality is the amount of money that I probably would have put into this would have been about somewhere around the ballpark of about $10,000. That would have netted me $3.5 million.
All right.
What?
The one time.
Anyway, the one time. Anyways, yeah, so it's been a bit of a roller coaster of a week. And now the real complication behind it is that Robinhood, which is the purchasing app for
yeah, that's the little
mobile
app
investing
that I bought my little video game stocks on that I use to monitor. That was the genesis of this whole GameStop segment of our podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Robinhood actually appeared to stop users' ability to purchasing GameStop stock through their app for part of the day, while other companies imposed rules to limit some trading as well. And this broke the world. I think what happened is that there's a lot of speculation that's going around on social media and in Reddit communities as well, but and actually even some of U.S. Senators and Congress men and women are questioning the validity of the decision to halt trading for that specific stock, citing market manipulation, because these billionaires are standing to lose a lot of money or having to pay a lot of tax, but also that the little people are making all this money. And that scares the hell out of the elites, right? So we're seeing this weird sort of phenomenon occurring, and I think that we're going to see more of this in the future. I think we're going to see more weird failing little stocks totally blow up and then come crashing down, and then you'll never see them again.
Well,
and the people will just have made their money on them, and that will be it. But that's very, very risky investing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never ever recommended, right? Like, so I kind of got caught up on this, and it's forcing a lot of hard questions about whether or not the stock market is in a dangerous bubble. But from my personal perspective, I think that we can finally say that there is a clear bubble, more or less in different areas. But the market has been acting absolutely wild, as we can all see. People are pumping stocks for fun, and if things go south, how big of a reaction will there be in the entire stock market? Like GameStop, BlackBerry, AMC, Nokia, like these have been pumped really heavily and seeing 100% gains in a single day for no reason at all. That should alert us, right?
Well, I think the big. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, especially now when many of us have never really experienced gains like this before, it's quite intimidating and very scary. But I'm the type of investor that thinks about long-term gain, and dividend stocks, and companies' potentials, and looking at their financial reports and quarterly, and making decisions based on that. That's how you invest. But these retail investors they're just like, they're going in, they're making all this money, and then they're just leaving. And they're never going back in again, or they might come back in again. And that's what's even scarier, is because we don't know when or how that's going to happen. I don't know. I think that there's some kind of bubble now, and it's going to affect all areas. I don't like to be in a bearish market at all, but like, fundamentals are just like, Microsoft and Apple released all-time high results in the last week, and only a few people seem to really care about it, at least in the financial sector anyways. And I wonder if we're going to see a different direction and a pivot towards more fundamental oriented market strategies, like, but I think it could take a really long time. And the saddest part of all of this is that the ones who really suffer will be us, the retail investors. And people will think that GameStop and AMC will only go up, but that's not the case. They're already on the way down, and they're going to continue. I fear that some of us will realize that too late, people that bought in, and some have bought a lot of stocks with debt, which is never a good choice.
That's a hedge
And
fund, right?
that is really going to bite them in the ass in the long run, right?
Uh,
So, but yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I've said it before, and I've stolen this phrase. The stock market is nothing but old people's feelings, and I don't understand why we put so much value into something that's so tumultuous. Like, when the stock market is doing bad, people are still making money somewhere, but we're like, the economy's going under, and blah, blah, blah. And I think really what this was doing is shows how non-consequential but yet so consequential the stock market is. Like, a bunch of people just decided to throw money at this thing and inflate it, and it broke everything. Like, when you play the game by the rules but you just kind of like find the loophole, that's when you know the game is broken. And I don't think the stock market was designed in such a way where it was ready to have applications in the palms of every human on the earth that can just boop, hit a button and buy a stock. And I think that's the thing that it's going to have to change by, is understanding what, because when the stock market was first kind of around, like, not every Joe Schmo could invest in the thing. You had to be there. You had to figure out a way to have a agent to buy and sell for you on the floor. It was not a very
It was
easy
very
club to get into.
elitist. It was very
Yes.
elitist. But
And
I think we can see some parallels here between the pandemic and the stock market reaction. So, with COVID-19 and the pandemic, what we've seen is that the world's richest 1% really were fine. They had a little bit of a hit. Maybe some of them had to sell some properties or some businesses. No big deal. They're fine. Still sitting on their mountain of money, in their 19 vacation homes and yachts that they have. The middle class are just trying to get by. They've got enough savings in place to carry them through. That's most of us. And then the lower socioeconomic status, like a lot of these essential workers that work around the clock, they make minimum wage or less than minimum wage. They can't afford their bills. They can't afford their rent. Those are the ones that are truly and really being affected, that need the support. When we look at the stock market in this situation, it's the same thing. The people, the 1% that own the majority of the market, maybe they lost a lot of money, but it didn't affect them. They still have a lot of money.
it affected them enough to shut down friggin' Robinhood.
The middle class people, and maybe the investors that are smart enough to say, don't touch that with a 10,000 foot pole, were unaffected.
Oh.
Or the ones who just didn't pay attention to what was going on remain unaffected. But then there's these investors that have gone in and wanted to make a quick dollar. And then there's the ones that don't know as much about the stock market that are going in and they're chasing these stocks now. They see the popularity that in the news about GameStop and all of these other stocks, and they're chasing them. They're buying them at a high price, but they're never going to be able to sell them any higher than what they bought them at.
No, because the whole thing was showing how ridiculous. I mean, this was just a troll move, in my opinion, getting like to show how the stock market is.
Well, they pumped it. Like they pumped it, right?
And
we've seen
my
the
point.
man behind the curtain now.
That's my point.
And more people understand than did before that our economy is based on hopes and dreams, and the stock market runs on good vibes. And this is shocking and disconcerting to a lot of people.
Well, for the people who didn't truly understand how the rich got richer, but of that 1%, this is how they've done it historically for the last 100 years.
And
they've pumped stocks, brought the price up, and then sold it high, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm trying to say is the second that normal Joes do this too, they shut us down. And that's what I'm saying. The free market's not inherently free once everybody figures out how to use the same system the elites have been using. And Robinhood allowed us to do that because anyone can just buy a stock. And when we all band together like they did, like, hey, let's just inflate this and see what ridiculousness happens, they shut the free market down. And they cap the stock, which is not how a free market works. It should be free.
It's really funny. It's really funny because
Robinhood was really ever free though.
Absolutely founded on this fundamental idea of bringing the stock market to the everyman.
Power to the people.
Yes, of putting the power to trade right in your hands.
Yep.
And now that it's being used, oh wait, no, not like that.
Yeah. You know what? It's a sad day when a hedge fund can purchase a couple million shares at a whim, but a couple million people can't purchase. You know.
Yeah. And I'm such a weird. I have this weird dichotomy, this battle in me going on because there are moments where I love the system and the way that it works, and there's also times where I just love a little bit of anarchy. I love a little bit of like techies will always hack the system. Doesn't matter what the system is, we'll hack it, and we'll find a way to hack it. You know, and I don't
understand how I don't understand though how third parties like Robinhood have the power to halt trading on a stock.
Well,
that should come central at the New York Stock Exchange or the Toronto Stock Exchange, right?
It's part of their terms of service that they can basically control what they do and don't sell. So if they don't want to sell you a stock, they don't have to sell you the stock.
At the end of the
it's
day,
messed up, but it's in their terms of service, and you can't buy just any stock from Robinhood. The whole market is not available.
It's just like with Twitter. As much as that is a public platform, they have the choice whether or not to let you on it.
They're a private company.
This is why I always purchase.
It's a weird thing.
This is why I always purchase stocks and shares through the banks.
Yeah, but
and
that's
never,
the thing.
Never through something.
You invest on a different level than I invest. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to be trading through a bank.
Really?
Yeah, there's like fees and stuff. It would be. I only have my portfolio is like
different in America.
$200. Like, you know, that's it's. Robinhood makes sense for me, and it wouldn't make sense for you.
Robinhood was never meant to do this sort of thing. So certainly they have a right to shut things down. But what it does is it kind of shows some of the flaws in the system because the system wasn't invented to handle Robinhood. You know, it needs to be retrofitted. If you're going to keep the stock market as a viable asset and have apps in the hands of everyone who's got a cell phone able to trade in stock, yet at the same time risk basically what is a DDoS of a stock.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like
you need to figure out a way to handle that better.
This whole situation is the inevitable evolution of 2020. because 2020 gave us this explosion of popularity of Animal Crossing, in which a core mechanic of Animal Crossing is the stock market. You buy and sell turnips. You invest at a certain price and you try to sell at a certain price. And so many of the people have been home because of social distancing, isolation because of COVID-19, and people are thinking about the stock market. And I feel like that may have been a part of the seeds that were planted
this on Nintendo
that turned into this. I mean, I'm not saying that Nintendo planned this, but I'm saying that Nintendo planned this.
So some of the more prominent members of the American Democratic leadership, I guess I could say, have been pretty vocal about this whole week's events. You guys are familiar with Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has an avid Twitch channel in which she streams on.
Yeah.
She went live and she wanted to talk about her take on this situation. She had over 300,000 people watching her stream at its peak. And she basically said that, she's been previously pretty vocal about her criticisms of Robinhood's actions. She tweeted that, they need to know more about the app's decisions, and that the decisions to block retail investors from purchasing stock while hedge funds are freely available to trade the stock as they see fit.
Yeah, it's wrong.
She said she was basically citing that there needs to be some sort of investigation done there as well. Elon Musk as well had the same sort of feeling that AOC did as well. He said in a tweet, on January 28th, he said, "You can't sell houses you don't own. You can't sell cars you don't own, but you can sell stock you don't own. This is absolute bullshit. Shorting is a scam, legal only for vestigial reasons."
We have to get up to speed with the technology, and it's always the hardware is the bottleneck. It's never the software. You can develop to the world's end. It's the hardware that's got to run it. It's the same thing here. The software is far surpassing our infrastructure, and we have to build it to compensate.
Right.
We're just not used to these sorts of things yet. And it's the inevitable growing pains that are going to come with this sort of thing. And you look throughout history, there's always been growing pains no matter what happens. Look, when we started doing space flight, Sputnik pops up in the air and America went crazy. They're spying on us. We don't know, a missile strike. And it was just a satellite, right? It's the same kind of concept here. Instead of Sputnik, it's an app. It's an app that allows normal people to just hit a button and trade $1 on the stock market without any attached fees. And it's just $1. But you have 100,000 people do $1 into one stock.
So there was a 13-year-old girl from, I can't remember which state she was in, but she was gifted stocks in GameStop. And the stocks, the shares that she was gifted were bought at $6. She ended up making like $3,200
nice
in capital gains in the end.
That's
of
wonderful.
course, obviously it was her parents who were managing the stock for her because she's not of legal age. But I thought that was pretty entertaining. I hope that she does some pretty cool and fun stuff with that $3,200.
It's absolutely splendid.
Yep. That's amazing. I think some of our listeners actually mad out a little bit too.
Yeah, somebody tweeted at me that they were getting a free Xbox Series X based on their actions during this
nice
stock uprising.
I love it.
Have you guys bought any more?
No.
I haven't had time to do much with my stocks. I still have my 3 Nintendo stocks.
Yeah.
And they're doing okay. Let's have a look.
I've wanted to invest in either Ethereum or Bitcoin, but
that ship has sailed.
I decided that I would mine it rather than
that ship has sailed.
My portfolio is at $236.85. my three Nintendo stocks are worth $72.27.
Excellent, excellent.
I bought them at $47.33.
I've been thinking about buying into natural resources
Mm-hmm.
because electric vehicles
Mm-hmm.
This
and
isn't a
new
game show
battery
anymore.
technology. But yes, we should move on to our next segment.
So since we're moving on because we've stopped talking about video games, so let's talk about science.
And
Take it away,
we
Bender.
don't. I don't have a sciencey sound effect, but I'm just gonna play this because that's all I got.
Do you have indigestion?
So in the last episode of GameStack, we had talked about therapy, video games as a form of therapy, and it was a 2-part series. I'm gonna break that up by introducing this new study that has come out, and I just want to share it with you guys because I thought it was just so awesome. So, a new study published in the Evolutionary Psychological Science journal suggests that psychopathic people view the absence of aggression as an indicator of weakness. This study used the virtual life simulation game The Sims 3 to examine how those with psychopathic personality traits choose to interact with others. This is an article that is coming from SciPost, written by Eric Dolan. So thank you, Eric.
This is fascinating.
The author of the study, Dr. Beth Visser, an associate professor at the Lake Head University, said, "My colleagues and I were interested in following up on some earlier work on the cheater-hawk hypothesis of psychopathy. The cheater-hawk hypothesis focuses and looks at the behaviors of hawks, like the bird, and how they behave. And so what biologists have observed is that psychopathy has evolved as a strategy of exploiting other people and other resources through deception, cheaters, and aggression, hawks. And so the study team theorized that people with psychopathic traits would generally avoid other aggressive individuals, but would see anxious, kind people as being more easily exploited.
This makes me nervous.
So they attempted to study this by using the Sims video game, in which they could put their hypothesis to test without harming anybody at all. So in the study, they had a total sample size of 205 undergraduate students who previously had played the Sims video game. And what they did was they had 4 pre-made characters whose personalities were selected to represent a cheater, which included someone who was deceptive, sneaky, and charming; a hawk, somebody who was aggressive, rude, and mean; a dove, someone who was submissive, nervous, and shy; and a cooperator, somebody who was nice, trusting, and cooperative. During the recording session, participants were able to interact with these 4 different characters by using their own character that they developed based on a psychological test that they filled out. So based on the characteristics, they designed their Sims character based on this specific standardized test. And basically what they found in their study was that people with higher levels of psychopathic traits were meaner and more aggressive overall, as well as particularly targeting our hypothesized victim Sim character. And Visser explained that she thinks that the take-home message is that people should feel no reluctance about avoiding those people who seem to be manipulative, deceptive, rule-breaking, and callous, and that these individuals are people who will take advantage of your nice, agreeable, and cooperative tendencies. They also did find that the participants high in psychopathic traits didn't actually really display any sort of charming or deceptive behaviors predicted by the cheater-hawk hypothesis. And she said, one limitation to this research and a possible explanation for the lack of cheater behaviors was the lack of an inducement to cheat itself. And further research, of course, is going to be needed to be able to truly understand that paradigm. But um, even though this study really suggests that psychopathy is on a spectrum, we don't really know the extent that this really parallels with criminal behavior, individuals who suffer from mental illness, etc. But the findings do have some practical implications for everyday social interactions. And she left the readers with a final note. She said, "I like to tell people that if you find yourself targeted by an exploitive, manipulative, and callous person, it's not your fault. Don't try to change your good qualities, but instead be wary of those who seem to be trying too hard to charm, manipulate, deceive, or frighten you." So it's a pretty interesting study. I think that it has some limitations, and there definitely needs to be more work in this area. I don't necessarily know that the hypothesis that they use, the cheater hawk hypothesis, in studying bird behaviors relates all that well to human behaviors in a simulated setting like The Sims. But it is definitely a new insight into how people behave. And I thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to share it because they used a video game to measure that.
It's really
And I
neat.
thought that that was really, really creative. And I would like to see more. I would like to see more gameplay studied in that way, in psychological analysis and psychological research, because it says a lot about how you make your character, right? And it really it speaks to the subtleties of our personality traits in how we play the video games that we play. So anyways, that's the game science segment. Moving along.
Thank you, Vendor. That was really interesting. I enjoyed that. So, Rick, what have you been playing?
Kind of piggybacking on what Vendor was just talking about, the fact that how we play video games are subtle, you know, windows, if you will, into one's psyche. Um, I'm never going
Deep.
hunting with you, Shalene.
Deep.
You'll shoot me in the back.
Shoots you in
No,
the
I
back.
would never.
See
I'm-
that right there, right there.
No, I am excellent with a firearm.
I don't know who to trust anymore.
You'd shoot me. You'd shoot me in the pan.
No, I would
I
never.
see a deer. Bang.
Rick, no, this is ridiculous. In video games, I am a little bit of a hasty clicker, okay? But in real life, I am a very responsible person operating a firearm.
And honestly, if we go by that standard, Left 4 Dead has taught us that I'm actually worse with the friendly fire. So maybe that's not a good standard for operating. Anyway, what have I been playing? I have been playing some.
Oh my God, please talk. Please talk.
There.
I feel like I need to fire up the sitar. Like,
Oh. Anyway, no. So I decided to give Ghost Recon Breakpoint another shot because they implemented a lot of different things where you can kind of change the way the game plays on the fly. You can change how immersive you want it to be, how realistic, how difficult, blah, 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 blah. And the gameplay feels really good. It's just the problem is it feels so not real. I know it's a video game, but the fact that you're like a Ghost Recon elite, special forces team, but like you're fighting like futuristic soldiers with drones and like AI mechs, and you don't have any. It just doesn't feel grounded or real. So like I can't get into that game anymore. So I switched back over to playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, which feels more grounded, even though your everyday soldier is excellent counter sniper, but it definitely feels more grounded than Breakpoint. I've kind of played that here and there. Just going through and trying to do things that are tactical and sneaky, and then utterly failing at that and having to kill everybody in the room, because that's how I play stealth games.
Quite right.
Yeah. And I played some Cyberpunk. I haven't really been doing much. I've been busy building that dang bot.
Right.
Oh, I did boot up Fallout 4 because I really wanted to play it, and it keeps crashing. I even did a fresh install, and it keeps crashing, and I don't know
Really?
why. Yeah, every time I enter a building or move more than like 3 paces, game crashes, and I do not know why. So I got to figure that out because I was really enjoying my playthrough of Fallout 4.
What about your streams? You've been streaming quite a bit.
Yeah, I played some Hunt. and that was fun. I need to play more of that game because I really enjoyed it. I've been getting into Tarkov, but that's a high stress game that's been like just hard to get into.
Yeah.
I've been looking. So here you go. On Wednesday nights, I do a stream here at 8 p.m. and I've been looking for like a story-based game to start to finish to kind of go through. So
Right.
if anyone has a suggestion out there for a story-based game, oh no, what?
No, I'm just adding reactions to
Oh,
what you're
okay.
saying.
I would be thoroughly thrilled with the idea. As long as I have it, it would be nice. So yeah, I've been trying to figure out what to play for those streams because I want to devote it to something. I keep jumping around games, and I don't want to do that. So they feel too willy nilly.
I mean, I personally would love a little Red Dead Online time. Just throwing that out there. Maybe some Sea of Thieves.
I was looking for like something like story based, but I don't know.
Fine.
I don't know. I gotta figure it out. I haven't settled into a groove on Wednesday nights yet.
Mhm.
But anyway.
How about Monster Prom?
I will leave.
Oh no. Well, I've been playing. I have jumped back into Red Dead Redemption.
Wait, I didn't say I was done,
I just assumed that you were.
and I was. Go ahead.
Boy, I oughta. A knuckle sandwich.
My goodness.
I've been playing some Red Dead Redemption. I jumped back into that over the Christmas holidays. Red Dead Redemption always seems to crop up in my life when I'm going through some crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's just I have this connection with Arthur Morgan. He's like another limb, you know. I can't do without him.
Which limb?
We don't talk about that. Anyways, so
Is he a big iron?
I have been making my way through the storyline for a second time. And you guys have all done the storyline, you know what it's like, blah blah blah. So I'm at the point right now where the camp is over by Rhodes when Arthur Morgan becomes the sheriff or the deputy to the sheriff or whatever. Rhodes is by the ocean, by that seaway. Red soil. Anyways, I haven't been doing this story. I've been avoiding it because I've transformed into a trapper. And I am now this nomadic trapper who is making my way through every single millimeter of the map. Like zigzagging. I'm serpentining all the way through the whole map to look at underneath every rock, look behind every tree, in every bush, everything. I am looking everywhere to see all the clues, and I have found some pretty amazing stuff. There is a lot of indigenous art throughout the map that I didn't realize on my first playthrough. There's carvings on rock faces and in caves. There's dream catchers hanging from the trees. There's like 40 of them that you can find throughout the map. But what I've been really focusing on is getting the furs and the outfits with the fur trading. And so I've been doing a lot of hunting, trying to get perfect pelts for like, this random American beaver that is only in one single part of the map that comes out at night. So then I'm like camping in this bush, waiting with my gun to like find this beaver and get it. So it's been a real awesome experience. And I've been playing it Fallout New Vegas style, where I haven't been fast traveling. So I would ride across the land.
You fast travel in Red Dead?
And then set up camp. Yeah, you can fast travel.
You can?
Yeah, when you set up camp, that's your opportunity to fast travel.
I had no idea you could fast travel.
Yeah, anyways, so I haven't been fast traveling because I think that totally ruins the whole experience. Instead, I've been traveling, and then when night hits, I set up camp. And I cook my dinner, and I sleep, and then I wake up with Sea Brisket, which is my horse. And then we continue on, to our little place where we need to go see the trapper and stuff. But it's been, honestly, there are so many stories and so many things that have happened. And it's been so much time has elapsed since that time that I don't even remember. I mean, you guys seen some of the pictures. I had posted them in the Discord.
Beautiful.
Those were some of the adventures that we were on, and it was just, man, a man's horse is really his best friend. And you really experience that playing this game, because when you take your time and you walk through these trails and you're sitting there singing on your horse and swatting flies off, your horse becomes an extension of yourself, and it's really quite something.
Did I send you the video of Arthur Morgan's voice actor telling the story of when they spent a day recording the voice lines? They
Yeah,
had to go back through and change them because they
it's
sounded
I
too,
can't unsee it. I can't unsee it.
whoa, girl. They're
Oh,
like, we can't. They're like, we can't use these, and he's like, why not? And he's like, listen. He's like, whoa, girl. And they're like, oh yeah, we gotta redo that.
And the mod Rick sends me this thing about this crazy Wild West
Yeah,
mod.
yeah, that's crazy.
Anyways, it's
Anyway,
in the Discord in the Red Dead channel, and you should check it out. I've also been doing a cross Canada tour in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I started in Vancouver, and I flew into the mountains in Kelowna. Then I flew to Calgary, then Calgary to Edmonton, Edmonton to Regina, Regina over to Ottawa, and then Ottawa up to sort of Halifax area. Then I skipped across Prince Edward Island up to St. John's, Newfoundland. And then now I'm making my way back across the top of Canada. So I'm way up in the north in Aqualit, and like basically the Arctic. And I'm gonna go over top Hudson's Bay and come back down into the Northwest Territories and make my way through Alaska. And it's been a really cool experience. Like, I've seen the prairies, I've seen the mountains, I've seen all kinds of stuff, cities and things like that, the ocean. Um, and the Arctic is, I mean, it's a barren wasteland of just snow, but it's really cool from a plane. I mean, it looks really neat. And so I'm excited to kind of make my way back through that and keep going. Man, it's just so good. They have, I think I mentioned in the last episode that they've really streamlined and pushed new updates to make the planes run better. So now it's definitely more immersive. But flying it, I flew in, the last place that I flew in was this little tiny little, it wasn't, I wouldn't even call it an airstrip. It was basically a patch of dirt on the side of the coast. It's called Davis Inlet. It's in northern Quebec. And I came in a snowstorm. I literally couldn't see the runway until I was about 500 feet in front of it. And I had to land in like a poof of snow because you couldn't see the runway, and the runway was just covered in snow. And I was like slipping and sliding back and forth. It was crazy. It was good. It was a good time.
sounds fun.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I've really dived back into is Sea of Thieves. Yeah, Sea of Thieves, it came to a screeching halt for me probably in the summer. I stopped playing it because I was really sort of upset with the new updates that they brought, and getting really frustrated with how greavy the game was. But they've pushed the new season update, which is the biggest update that they've pushed since launch. Now you have seasons. Seasons last, I think, 3 months. You can get the Plunder Pass, which is like Fallout First. So you get all the extra perks with the ships and stuff. But it's really good. They have these quests now where you can do search for lost ships, and you like sail, you find the clues, and you try to find and look through the different paths that they've taken. And you got to find clues in the water and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much Sea of Thieves. I'm probably gonna play some of that this weekend. Carlo and I played Sea of Thieves for the first time together,
Lovely.
which was a lot of fun. It's so fun to play with a new person because, like he just like he didn't know what to do, right? Because it's first time in the game, right? And so it was kind of interesting to see and play and answer and see the questions that he's asking about, like, well, what does this do? What does this do? Well, couldn't we just do that? And so yeah, it was fun. We went and dug some chests, and he can sniff out treasure chests like a bloodhound, and he loves fighting the skellies as well. So hopefully we'll get up to playing some of that soon. That's my gameplay.
Lovely. That sounds like a good time. Well, guys, of course you know that I'm going to talk about Animal Crossing. Of course you know that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to make that noise.
All right. Yay!
Okay, the other noise was probably better. Um, guys, I'm really excited. And let me tell you why. Pave is coming. And Pave is one of my favorite characters in Animal Crossing universe. Pave is a peacock, and he is amazing. He comes to celebrate Festival, which is basically Carnival. And he dances, and he has like bejeweled costumes, and just like Pave must dance, and Pave is fabulous, and I love Pave. Just so fabulous. So I'm really looking forward to the festival celebrations that they are bringing to Animal Crossing. They did gift everyone with this new update a set of maracas, and I was so excited. My little Animal Crossing character was just going to town with the maracas. Mom came to visit, and there we were with our maracas. It was great. It was good times, maracas.
Nice.
I do have a bit of a looming just there's a bad thing going on my island, you guys.
What?
Yeah, it's a bad situation. The tulips have taken control of the island.
What?
And I'm not sure what to do.
What?
So
Okay.
Are the tulips like a really doofy name for some sort of faction?
the tulips are flowers. They are a bulb that grows into a flower, a tulip, and
So the literal tulips. Okay.
literal tulips.
Okay.
Yes, and when it rains, the flowers multiply. You know that they propagate, they self-propagate, and they multiply. And in the beginning, I was really happy about this because yay, flowers, pretty flowers. I was so happy. But now probably 80% of my island is covered in tulips.
Can you cut them down or anything?
You can dig them up, but it takes so long. And it's such a daunting task that I don't even I struggle to begin. Like I feel like I'm gonna have to enlist help to come and get these tulips off my island. It's horrible.
Right.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yes. But other Animal Crossing players know the struggle. But while I decide what to do about these tulips, I will be looking beautiful because I ordered the Animal Crossing makeup collection. It was
What? Wait a minute.
yes.
You don't already have it?
No, it was available for order. It went up yesterday, I think.
Shocked. I'm
Yes,
shocked.
it was
shocked, I tell you.
It was made by ColourPop Cosmetics, and there are 4 eyeshadow palettes, a couple blushes, some lipsticks, and a couple of glitter products. And I'm
Have you
really
used it
excited
yet?
to get them. Well, they have to come in the mail.
Oh,
Vendor.
right.
I ordered them
Sorry.
yesterday.
Yeah, she had to
And-
ship it
Wait, things don't
international.
come next day for you?
I mean, no.
If it's USPS.
Yeah, they
nope.
have to go through customs to get to
What a world we
Mexico.
live in now. We're like, well, it's supposed to come this afternoon. I ordered
Yeah.
it 2 hours ago.
It's
Are you
pretty
kidding?
difficult to actually get next day stuff where I live. But
I can get same day stuff here.
that is just
You live in a
that's a
city.
miracle.
Yeah, it's
Um,
great. Well, we also have an Amazon distribution center.
There you go.
But I am
at our
very
airport,
excited
so-
about this Animal Crossing makeup
Right,
collection.
quite right.
So it'll make me happy.
Mhm.
Of course, been playing Fallout 76, keeping up with the homework, and now that I've finally finished Wastelanders with my main character, I'm doing the gold grind and the reputation grind, and I'm enjoying that. It's kind of like soothing at the end of the
Okay.
day to go
Okay.
through those daily quests. It's been nice. And I also need to talk about Raft. Okay, Raft. Rick and Archon and I played some Raft the other day. This is a game we've recently gotten into. And we've been going through some of the story beats of Raft. And it took us to this huge island. This island was ginormous, guys.
Mhm.
Huge island. It was ridiculous how big this island was. We had to pack lunch and water and stuff so we didn't die while we were exploring this island because it was such a sizable island. It was big. And there were bears. It was covered in bears.
Mhm.
Bears everywhere. And they were scary. The bears were scary. And I was really glad the guys were there and they killed the bears. And that was good. You can wear the bear's head as a hat, which of course is also good.
I like how you don't even have to make the hat. You just like
Yeah, you just cut it
slice
off.
the head off and
I imagine it smells wonderful.
Great. And by the way, I'm really excited to hear how you tell the story.
Yeah, Archon scared me to death with the bear head the first time. We had fought the bear and he put the bear head on and I turned around and I screamed a little like a little girl.
You did.
I did. Yeah. So we're
Yes.
exploring this island and we get to this section that is basically a bit of a jumping puzzle. And you guys know how I feel about jumping puzzles. I hate them because I can't do them. So it was this pool of acid or nuclear waste or something both. And I immediately the guys are like, okay, don't step in this acid. Like, okay. I mean, that sounds reasonable. I won't step in the acid. And I look up and Archon is out in the middle of it. Because of course he is. And he's hopped on these platforms that sink as you jump on them. And Rick's like, oh, you can go out there? So, of course, Rick joins him because, of course, he did. So they're in the middle of this acid and Rick goes on ahead because he had a little more health, I believe. And I was like, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to stay here. You know, this is I'm not going. I'm not going. That doesn't look like fun. I'm not going. I'm going to stay here. So they went on and they found cool stuff over there, right? Because that's where you're supposed to go. So they're doing the fun stuff and I was a little bored sitting there at the other end of the jumping puzzle waiting for the guys to get back. And I thought, well, I think I'll just go around the corner and see if I can find any resources that I can harvest, you know, to bring back to the raft. Mm-hmm. And around the corner somehow became very far away from where the jumping puzzle was. And the guys told me that I really needed to go over there so we could progress. So I'm like, okay. So I'm going back. I'm going back that direction, or I think I am, but I wasn't because I was lost. I know this is shocking. It's hard for you guys to believe that someone with my impeccable sense of direction would get lost, but lost I was.
Shocked.
Lost I was. And then very shortly thereafter, I was attacked by a bear and I lost, you guys. The bear, it killed me and I was dead. And the guys, they were very patient about it. They figured out where I was and they're like, okay, let's go get Shalene. So they come to carry my lifeless corpse back to the raft so that I can be revived by having a nap in the hammock. And they find me. And which one of you was it that picked me up first?
Archon picked you up first.
Okay.
And at this time, we didn't have any food, and we were quickly running out of water.
No food. There was one sip of water in Archon's bottle, and he gave it to you because you had...
he's like, here you go, tossed it. And,
yeah, you had less hydration than he did at the time. And they'd had no food. They had spent a pretty good chunk of time finding me. And so Archon tosses me over his shoulder and the bear attacks. He throws me on the floor. The guys fight the bear.
Right, we had to fight the bear.
Yes. So throws me back over his shoulder, and they're heading back towards the raft, or they thought they were.
Yeah.
But they were also lost. So, eventually...
It was night. It was nighttime, by the way.
Was night.
It wasn't daytime. It was nighttime. We had to navigate our way through this giant island.
It was night. And eventually, the two of you split up.
Yeah.
Because...
I led us in circles. I made a mistake and took a wrong turn. And then Archon was already dehydrated. He couldn't walk, so...
So he was going to go back to the boat and get food. While Rick carried me, I believe was the plan.
Yeah.
And so Rick was carrying me, and it's really funny in Raft when you're an unconscious character, you still see through your character's eyes. So your point of view is just what it's like to be thrown over someone's shoulder, being carried off the mountain. It was fantastic. So Rick is finding his way back to the raft with me, and Archon gets close to the raft, and he starved to death on the beach. Right on the beach near the raft. It was really unfortunate.
I got attacked by Bruce.
You did. You got attacked by the shark while you were swimming, carrying me towards the raft. And right in the little inlet next to where we had the raft parked, that was where Rick died.
Yeah, I was right there.
Really?
Yes.
Dropped, yeah.
Hilarious.
Yes,
Sucked.
it was stupid. We were all a stone's throw away from the raft and all dead. So Archon.
But you just spawn back on the raft, though.
Yeah, but you lose all your gear. So.
Like I had good gear.
Mm-hmm. So Archon.
You must have your
sacrificed his
settings
gear.
different then.
Yeah.
He sacrificed his gear and dragged us back to the raft, and I was so frustrated. I felt so bad because it was all my fault. And I did not want to play Raft anymore. So
You were like, I'm done.
I was so done. You guys, I was so done. But we will try again. Probably not today. Maybe this weekend. But we need to resupply before we tackle this island again.
Yeah, we do. We need to like shove off, get wood, build stuff, and then come back.
And we also need like Ariadne's thread to tie to the raft so that we don't get lost. It's just ridiculous. We also finished Left 4 Dead's new thing, the Last Stand, which we thought was some kind of a horde mode, but it wasn't. It was just another level, and it was really fun.
We cranked it out in a half an hour.
We did. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my gameplay.
Nice. Sounds like you had lots of fun.
Yep, we did. I guess that's also a show. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about before we leave?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. On Wednesday nights, I stream here at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just kind of whatever I feel like at the moment, and that's every Wednesday. And I do vinyl music streams on our Discord server every Thursday at 8 p.m. as well. And that seems to be fun for most people. So you should join the Discord and check that out.
Lovely. Also, join us next week for that Fallout show, which is our entire podcast that we have about the Fallout series, where we're going to again address Fallout the Frontier.
We have audiences that are split.
Also, join us for Dames Who Game, which is a podcast that I do with some fabulous ladies. Love them very much. So check out Dames Who Game on your favorite.
Got all excited
podcast
thinking they were going to come on our
choice.
show.
I mean, they can. I can talk to them. Do you want them back?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I said that the last time.
Yeah,
Yes.
Vendor asked you to reach out to them.
We can do that. I'm sure they would be happy to stop by.
Yes.
And
I
you
want
can send
all
us
of their
emails.
lovely voices.
info@wejustlovegames.com. info@wejustlovegames.com. There's been nothing in our inbox for a long time now. Just a terrible, empty, tumbleweeds. I opened the inbox and moths flew out. It was awful. Find us on Twitter. The show is at We Just Love Games. I am at Shalene L. Rick is at Rick McVick, and Vendertron is at VendertronN. We have a Facebook, facebook.com/We Just Love Games, and groups/We Just Love Games. Join our Discord. As Vender stated earlier, you can click on the link down at the bottom of our Twitch page, or alternately, you can send us a message on social media and we'll get you the link. We record this show live at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, etc., Spotify, which apparently works, so I've heard. Please like, subscribe, and review the show. Thank you for listening. Vendertron, do you have a last word?
Is that loaded?